Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's exclusive Ask Me Anything session. I'm your host, Khushi Mudgal, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you with us today. Our topic today, Agentic AI, enterprise security, and the strategic tech decisions of tomorrow, couldn't be more relevant in today's fast evolving tech landscape. And to facilitate this session, folks, it's my absolute honor to welcome our distinguished guest speaker for today, Mr. Naresh Singh, Senior Director Analyst at Gartner. Before we move ahead, let me take a moment to introduce him. He's part of the Technology and Service Provider Research Group at Gartner, where he focuses on delivering research and advice to product managers in technology and service provider organizations around the world. With over 20 years of experience engaging with clients worldwide, he has led conversations on key technology topics such as AI infrastructure, zero trust, AI security, GPU as a service, and cloud AI as a service. He also regularly advises governments and enterprise leaders on their AI, security, cloud, and network infrastructure initiatives, helping them make informed and strategic technology decisions. It's such a pleasure having you, Naresh, here with me today.
Thank you very much, Kushi. It's always a pleasure talking to you. A very high and good morning to all of you.
All right, so now about the session, we will learn how agentic AI is challenging traditional security frameworks and redefining what zero trust looks like in this new era. We'll also explore the business case for adopting GenAI versus agentic AI, what product managers and CTOs must consider when aligning innovation with enterprise priorities. We'll also uncover what it really takes to strategically balance innovation with governance, ensuring AI adoption drives business value without compromising on trust or security. And finally, we learn how developers and tech leaders can shape their growth journeys and evolve into future ready innovators within global technology organizations. So now it's time that we begin our conversation and explore how agentic AI is reshaping enterprise innovation and security in today's digital world. So now, without further ado, Naresh, we would like to get started. And to begin with, firstly, I would like to ask you that how do you think agentic AI is reshaping the traditional security postures in enterprise networks?
Yeah, Kushi, that's a great question to start with. So, agentic AI, as you know, is the brand new great thing in the market from all the vendors that we're coming through today, right? So when we deploy agentic AI, it brings a lot of value, a lot of potential to customers and all organizations. However, it also brings a lot of challenges from a security perspective. First of all, I think agentic AI, since it is an autonomous agent, right, that is going to do many things and converse and work and interact with many other elements of our IT systems. They also increase the vulnerability or the attack surfaces that they expose to risks, and they also move like in between systems. So therefore, they bring up the risk of lateral movement of vulnerabilities as well. So the first and foremost challenge that it comes up is with the expanded attack surface that it exposes. Okay? Agentic AI also, as you know, by the nature of its name, it's autonomous. It's autonomous, and it can do things on its own. So that means that to humans, how human work, it may not work the same way. So therefore, it is unpredictable in nature, right? So therefore, it often bypasses security controls that have been made and designed for human and human users as well as human attackers, right? So we have to now look at how to deal with a highly intelligent system that can work on its own and behave in ways which humans may have not thought, right? So therefore, the challenges that's brought about is for security guys to contend with such an intelligent agent. The third challenge is about the way the agents work, they're not going to work on its own, right? So you will have multiple agents, and when we're talking agents, it is a very broad terminology. We have agents for normal productivity work, agents for marketing, agents for legal roles, agents for even human stuff, like, let's say, hospital care, right, or nurse. Agent can be doing many things, right? And it's such a broad terminology, right? And agents will also interact with each other to delegate things, right? So therefore, we're looking at a world where we have multiple agents with different roles, with different responsibilities, right? And all of them collaborating among themselves to meet our needs, right? So therefore, the whole premise of the uh, the identity of a security control, right? The identity management has to undergo rapid changes to really understand who is acting and who is working with whom, right? And then how do we basically look at the granularly the how the agents are are interacting with each other, so that we do the necessary controls effectively in this context also. Hmm? Another thing is that the agents are going to be highly I think working in multiple ways, right? And they will be behaving in different ways in different times. So therefore, the security challenges that comes up is in understanding the granularity of the context at which which by which the agent is doing something, right? So we have to really understand the contextual environment under which, or the contextual region by which an agent is behaving uh, in a particular way, and take the right decision whether to stop the agent from doing something, or to allow the agent to continue doing the work it is doing.
Yes,
So these are the
absolutely.
security challenges, Khushi.
Yes, and just like you mentioned about the uncertainty and also about how automation and AI, with those evolving in this rapidly changing world, we need to really take note of all these things that you just mentioned. So, moving forward, in your view, what do you think are the top risks that security leaders might overlook while adopting agent-based systems?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, I think the extent at which the agentic world is going to evolve. Sometimes we may have a very narrow vision, and look at agentic from a more narrow, from a limited point of view. I think we'll have to look at the agentic world with a more grander view, looking at all the type of agents that will be there in our environment, work environment, as well as individual environment, and therefore we have to also look at where all these agents are going to be, what all roles they are going to have in our work environment, and our even our life as well, individually. And accordingly, we have to now then kind of repurpose our identity access management frameworks, so that we can do identity management in a much more versatile manner, in a very distributed manner. So we have something called the decentralized identity access management. So because agents could be anywhere, could be in a remote office, could be in a data center, could be in a cloud, could be in our normal work, or could be in a home also, right? Or in our devices as we travel. So therefore, the identity access management, if it is highly centralized, then it may lead to serious user bad user experience, right? So we need to start having a more decentralized identity management that can deal with such versatile and but such high, long-ranging identity service that's required in terms of agents. The next one is, I think, Yeah. So agents, although they are different, but the same principles we follow in terms of securing our work environment and the cloud and the services that we use have to be applied also, right? Which means the agents have to be also provided only with the the privilege that they need to have, right? So we need to have only the minimal permissions that, from a zero trust perspective, that we have to provide to an agent for it to do what it requires to do in terms of the work we give them, right? So we have to have a process where which wherein we can provide a just in time verification, right? Of like, because agents will need to do multiple things, and if we do not know in advance what is going to do, and if the thing changes, right? So let's say, for example, we are asking the agent to book a ticket. So book a ticket for my travel, right? So first step, it may like to know what are my preferences. So for that, the agent will need to have access to my social behavior, right? So it may need to have my kind of Facebook password. So will you provide the password or not? So at any point of the agentic framework workflow, it needs to do multiple new things, right? So we have to provide the privilege to the agent only when it is required, and only what it requires. So what we call is just in time, verification, and just in time uh, permission, provision of permission to the agent to do the work, which we also call it as a least privilege principle in terms of zero trust principle. So the next thing is that, like I told, I mean, agents work very, in a very collaborative manner with other agents. We'll have, agents that do work, agents that will supervise the work of the other agents. We'll also have agents that are in different, roles, like, doing different tasks, which they specialize in. So they will collaborate with each other. And then agents will need to talk to databases, to the internet, to the cloud based resources, etc. So they have a very highly uh, highly, I think, unpredictable behavior. They can move from one place to another, right? So this leads to challenges in terms of if there is a breach somewhere in the agent, right? The agent can move from one place to another. That means the breach will happen in one place. It will impact everybody else, everywhere, wherever it moves or wherever it interacts with. So therefore, we need to then plan for extremely good network segmentation and isolation of agents whenever it is required. So and that will happen not just at the level of physical isolation or physical segmentation. We will have to go into the micro segmentation level, where you can segment things at a at a container or a virtual level as well, right? So this is a very critical need that is required in the agentic world. It's because it's more promiscuous compared to human behavior, right? uh, so that's another thing. Finally, we also have to do a very continuous and comprehensive monitoring of the agents, right? We have to track the actions. We have to look at anomalies in terms of how they behave. Are they meeting the various compliances that will be imposed by the governments, by the sectors that I belong to, etc. So all these things needs to be done in a real time basis, because it's not like humans. Humans will only do things what we expect, but agents will do things which we also don't expect. So when the things which we don't expect, how do we take care of that? It's only possible if we continuously monitor and then do auditing of what they do, and have steps to stop them when required, right? Lastly, the so which also kind of comes to the other element of an adaptive enforcement of policies. So for humans, we have clear cut strategies in terms of what we can do, what we cannot do in a system, right? So and those are like static in nature, right? So those are put in words, and you have to follow those rules. But in the case of agents, we have to have a policy which is adaptive in nature also. So we have to adapt the policies, because agents can be really in one very, can do things which we never really expected, right? So in that case, then the policy framework also has to adjust accordingly to take on such complex workflows the agents will bring to the table. And so naturally we have to really enhance in bottom line is that we have to enhance our zero trust for an agentic world, right? So we have to imbibe all the real time nature of the agents, and the zero trust has to really work at the prime time ability to take on the agentic world.
Yes, Naresh, absolutely rightly mentioned. And just like you mentioned that, these agentic architectures should be something that we should be really, looking key focus on. So how do you think developers and CISOs should collaborate when they're deploying these agentic architectures that operate autonomously at scale?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think so scaling AI infrastructure and agentic, has to be done in a very balanced manner, right? Because AI infrastructure, AI applications, they all are very costly. They're all very costly right now. They're still in a very early stage, and therefore it is very costly as well, right? So over time, yes, the cost will come down, but right now it is very costly. So we have to really, always abide by the ROI of what we are getting from the agents, right? And accordingly, we have to do the necessary arrangement in terms of the infrastructure and also the security, posture and the security investments we have to do, right? But at the same time, these new things like AI and agentic, AI, they are really really good, but at the same time they are extremely risky also. Can bring down like an organization, the brand of the organization, and create huge issues to its a company's brand, or even in some cases it might even close a company, if let's say it does things which it was not supposed to do, right? So therefore we have to, from a security angle, we should not be like we should not really react and be in a reactionary mode. We have to do security by design, right? What we mean by this, we have to embed security at every layer of the AI and the agentic workflow. Hmm? So that includes things like good identity verification, having micro-segmentation, in the entire agentic layers. Also have very highly adaptive and comprehensive monitoring, and also kind of have dynamic policies throughout the entire AI life cycle. Right? So secure by design architecture is a must. Okay, to start with. Secondly, many times people believe that AI is like too risky, so we have to do AI in a very in a closed environment, which typically means in many cases on premise, right? So while on premise may be really safe, because you don't expose the data uh, to a public shared environment, but see, in many cases there are unpredictable nature and also elasticity requirement that agents have. So when you're talking about agent that is going to meet many requirements, right, of many users, both internal and external, then we don't know what to plan for, how many users are going to be there, what and how much time they are going to use the agents or the AI for, and for what purpose they will use. All these are like very very um, you know they can be anything, right? That means it can vary a lot, right? If you do a simple thing like ask an AI to help me to summarize something, that's the easiest thing. But if you ask an agent to, let's say, plan my entire kind of schedule for the day, or kind of help me to establish some complex problem, right? So that those are very very highly different, versatile environments, versatile scenarios, right? So therefore when you have something which is quite unknown, and we don't know, how much use will happen, then elastic, solution like the public cloud starts becoming more better compared to a more on-premise environment where you are, basically investing only a certain amount of resources, right, to meet the current requirement. But when you have an elastic requirement, then how do you scale? How do you scale the on-premise? It's very difficult. In some cases, it's been impossible, right? So cloud resources are useful when you have to scale very fast, and we have to be very elastic in nature. So, consume only what you need, right? And when you don't require, don't consume, and bring down the usage, right? So that's where, a very hybrid environment is the likely goal that CISOs and the IT infrastructure organizations have to aim for in this new world. Then the next thing is, like, uh, we have to obviously, kind of monitor, audit, and have very, very clear metrics, right?
Yeah.
We have to measure, multiple things here. So we have to measure how the resources are being used by AI and agents, right?
Yeah.
Because and we have to also check out what are they being used for. If they are being used for very critical things, we are fine, kind of using how much of a resource they want. But if they're not being used for a critical thing, and they're using for just a normal, thing which may not really need even AI also, then why should we, kind of waste all the resources which are very costly, right?
Yeah.
So we have to, monitor and measure the AI very constantly, and take, necessary steps to control the uses of AI and agents. Similarly, from a security perspective, also, like I said, I mean, these things are highly unpredictable. So, and they may do things which are unnatural in nature. Unnatural. When I say unnatural in terms of even, responding to certain things, right? So these things are even, still very in a very nascent stage. AI, AI still has hallucinates. Agents can do things which are not supposed to be done. So we have to have a very clear guardrails in place, very good guardrails in place, which will say this is something you cannot do, this is something you can do, right? So we have to monitor all the, behavior, all the responses of AI and agents based on our, principles, that in terms of the guardrails that we establish in our environment of agents, right? And similarly, you have to also track the ROI as well, right? So we are using a lot of AI and agents, but is it really bringing benefits? In terms of what benefits, right? So when you're talking AI and agents, certain things are obviously, improving. We can use AI to improve our productivity. That is happening, right? But we are also seeking much more transformative, benefits from AI as well, and agents, right? So that's what agentic AI, is more suited for, because agentic AI can, kind of solve complex issues and problems, and therefore it is more aligned to a more transformative outcome for the business, right? And only when you are doing the tracking of ROI, then you know what for, right? Agentic you have to use in certain areas, and normal, Gen AI chatbots you have to use in certain areas, right? So a good AI and agentic operation depends on continuous monitoring and having good metrics, having very good policies in places.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So finally, two more things I want to add.
Yeah.
So we will see that there will be so many vendors in AI, right? So in Gartner, we actually have a program called AI Vendor Rest. So we research, who are all the AI vendors, and also agentic as well, agentic and AI vendors that are there in the market for different needs, right? That could be infrastructure, that could be security tools, that could be even, AI and AI chatbots or AI agents for different purposes, right? So
Yeah.
who is doing what, and what are it? How who is leading? and who is good for what purpose, right? So therefore, CISOs and the IT leaders have to really understand, the competitive landscape of AI, and buy stuff that is from the right, a good provider, so that
Yeah.
they don't get into bad spending of money, or don't get into trouble, because the provider that they work with is somebody that they really should not have trusted in the first place, right? So vendor selection and ecosystem, of AI is a very, very important thing for every IT leader to really study hard and take decision on whom to partner with. And but not the least, um, AI is still very new, right? It can do a lot of things, but we have to balance the autonomous capability that we will allow AI to use, and the human oversight that we have to bring in, right? So we have to implement what we call as human in the loop. Human in the loop, like, so for AI to take a decision that is very, very critical, where you can't take any risk, the human should be involved, and AI should not be allowed to take the final decision, right? But in areas where actually AI is doing a great job, why unnecessarily, kind of poke our nose there? Let AI do the work, right? And let humans just, do more valuable and more effective, work in other, high value areas, that humans can bring their, talent to, right? So that's the last part, which is basically the balancing the autonomy with the human oversight.
Right, Naresh. And you so perfectly mentioned about maintaining all those guardrails and also going about, balancing these innovations and agentic architectures which we are, coming across. And definitely the counterparts that are there that also makes us set apart from all of the other dynamics that are present. So, moving forward to the next segment, I would like to ask you, do you also see agentic AI replacing Gen AI in enterprise use cases, or will the two coexist in some complementary roles? What is your opinion?
Yeah, so I think Gen AI and agentic are actually, I mean, they're not like unique. I mean, they're not unique to each other. They are highly, I think, linked to each other, right? In fact, I think Gen AI is the starting point, and agentic is the goal. What I mean by that is, Gen AI is like, where humans are being augmented by AI, right? Where AI is helping to generate content, do summarization, to help ideate, right? So it's like helping the humans. And agentic AI is nothing but, where, the AI has got the agency. What do you mean agency means? Agency means can do things on its own. So agentic AI means, an AI that can do things on its own. So, and agentic AI is only achievable when Gen AI, has done, a good justice to what it should be able to do. That means operate at perfection, right? Only when some things are when things are perfect, or not, if not fully perfect, but at least to a good extent perfect, then we can trust them to leave them to do the work on them, on themselves, right? So that's the, relationship between Gen AI and agentic AI, which means that so users have to really understand the use case where they to apply these two, right? So
Yeah.
if you are just basically generating content, right, for marketing, for example, or for, like, let's say, I'm doing a presentation, I have to, create a talk track for that, right? Or create a slide even, right? So those are things which Gen AI can, do extremely well. So Gen AI by the nature is mean generating content, right? Generative AI. So let Gen AI generate that. While agentic AI, is a more advanced form of AI, where it is supposed to basically solve very complex problems. It is supposed to help, do away with all the intense labor that humans have to go through regularly, right? And solve the problem of the scalability, lack of scalability of humans, right? So humans cannot work 24 into 7, but machines can, right? So, but we will leave the machines to work on our behalf in the night only if we trust them, right? And we will also make them work only in things which we think they can actually do justice, right? And not do things which they will kind of mess up and then lead to a serious problem for myself or for the organization, right? So the use case is the most important aspect when you are dealing with these two different forms of AI.
Yes, Naresh, and definitely building a roadmap, with actually when your AI architecture choices are still evolving, becomes more important from a product leadership lens. So, what do you have to say about that? That how do you go about building a roadmap when AI architecture becomes the center of
Yeah,
stage?
yeah, yeah. So I think it boils down to for every business, why would business use AI?
Yeah.
It has to bring benefits to the business, not to the employee only, right? Employees will get benefit, right, because they can do their work more easily
Yeah.
or more faster, right? So uh, I think an AI initiative has to start with Gen AI, right? I mean, obviously, AI has been around for a long while. So machine learning and all that's like all done and dusted. We're talking about new things in AI, which is Gen AI, right? So Gen AI is I think should be the start point where you want fast ROI, like let's say within 1 or 2 months or maybe like 6 months at the max. So if you when you're looking at immediate productivity gains, right?
Yeah.
Apply Gen AI there. So start with Gen AI. And then agentic AI should be a longer term project because agentic AI needs a lot more, resources, a lot
Yeah.
more investments, and a lot more, need to have very good governance in place, and excellent security security solutions and tools in place also. Because, like I told earlier, right, there are many things which current security tools, have not fixed, which agents will really uh, put many questions for the security tools, security platforms, which I don't think security platforms are still ready yet. So therefore, agentic AI has to be planned much more, much more effectively and much more, carefully, right? So agentic AI should be a more longer term, in terms of roadmap. Can start maybe earlier because starting always helps you to learn, right? And
Right.
fix the problems, right?
Yeah.
But it should be a longer term, and don't expect immediate ROI because there will always be teething problems. It will behave in manners which will lead to high cost, right? But you should believe in the fact that it will ultimately lead to transformative outcomes and real business outcomes, right? Which a normal Gen AI cannot really bring.
Yes, Naresh, and you've absolutely, pointed it out in such a, fragmented way for all of us to actually learn and also evolve from the current
Yeah.
situation where things are so rapidly changing, and we need to be very sure about the correct amount of upskilling and reskilling that we are getting ourselves into.
Yeah, and when we're talking about agentic AI, we cannot uh, say less on this. The aspect of the cultural change
Yeah.
that we need to bring in. What do you mean by this? Agentic AI, by the nature of its name, like that, they are supposed to be very, very intelligent, and we are already talking about the AGI, like which is like general intelligence. Now,
Yeah.
recently you might have heard of something called super intelligence, right? Super intelligence means that agents have become more intelligent than humans.
Yeah.
So in this context, obviously the humans will be, a little bit concerned about, where is this going to lead to for me as a worker, right? So
Yeah.
if agents can do my work, then what is my future? That is the natural, human, instinct will coming in when you think of, right? So when we are deploying Gen AI and especially agentic AI, we have to really kind of do a sensitization of the workforce,
Yes.
um, do very good training so that any resistance that may come up has to be mitigated in advance, right?
Yeah.
So cultural and workforce impact is sometimes, least thought of by IT
Yeah.
leaders. In fact, I think that is very, very critical for success of AI, Gen AI, and agents.
Yes, Naresh, absolutely rightly, and very, with this fact of actually future proofing the AI infrastructure while we are also still innovating quickly in this hyper competitive landscape is something that is the go to for now. So, moving forward with it, what advice would you like to give to the engineering teams who are trying to balance this rapid AI rollout with a long term architecture stability?
Yeah. So I think they need to have a dual vision AI strategy, which means both integrate, both Gen AI for content and productivity, and agentic AI for more automated, automated use cases, and need to create a closed loop system where both of them can kind of integrate with each other and work efficiently for our purpose. So that's a dual vision AI strategy. Second point is like have to be very, very closely paying attention to implementing very, very advanced zero trust,
Yeah.
and like I said earlier, have security by design, right? Not like be reacting to a risk or a problem. We have to have security by design. But we have to start with security. Many times, what happens is that people just do AI and Gen AI and agentic without really paying too much attention on security, which is a complete big mistake, right? So, uh, as I told you, everything is like linked to each other. Just because of Gen AI, it may bring down the entire IT, or even the entire services, cloud services, for example. So you remember like the last 2 3 weeks have been a very bad week for cloud. I mean, because of just one dependency, the DNS server, the whole cloud. I won't name the names of the providers, but the whole cloud went down, right?
Yes.
So therefore, we need to have security at every layer, and
Yeah.
we need to secure everything that is dependent on each other, because things are dependent. There is nothing like which is like working in silo these days, right? And agentic AI, by nature of its name, it will touch many things. Whoever it needs to talk to in cloud, in the office, I mean, whoever, I mean, the systems, right? It will do
Yeah.
what is necessary. I mean, we cannot control whom it talks to. So agents will talk to anybody it requires to, right? So
Yeah.
therefore, we have to secure each and everything. Then only we will be in a good situation to tackle the upcoming challenges that will come. All right.
Yeah.
And then so like I told you, I think AI and Gen AI is hybrid in nature. That means you have to do both cloud and on premise, because there are things which are so sensitive that you would don't even want to take a risk in the public cloud, right? Which you have to do it very within closed environments, right? So things like which are very critical to your business, or things which will lead to a lot of challenges if the IP or the intellectual property or the data goes out, right? But on the other hand, I mean, cloud is the beauty of cloud is elastic in nature. It can scale very fast, right? And if we plan it properly, we can actually have much better cost also. If we really you know compare apple to apple, right? So therefore, a hybrid in design, in terms of infrastructure for AI and Gen AI, is what is required. Okay. um, and then I think, uh, least but not the last, no, sorry, last but not the least, is like obviously the uh, very, very comprehensive monitoring and visibility is required, right? So we have to have all the observability and the security monitoring tools and capabilities brought to the table, particularly for agentic AI, because agentic AI is going to be really, really challenging. Okay.
Yes.
So, and faster you start, better, because we still don't know what is coming. So we know what to do of what we know, right? But we don't know how to secure things we don't know yet. So we will come to a situation where we will come to get something which we don't know, because agents will do something which we never predicted, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, uh, be even in this presumption or assumption that you already breached. So if you already breached, then what do you do, right? So work out scenarios, work out uh, do scenario building and see how to respond, right? And how to react, respond, and restore also very very quickly, right? So and last again, sorry, this is too many last but um, I think human it's a good balancing between humans and agents that is really required, right? So this is actually the real key to success, right? Balancing what agent should do on its own, and what humans should do along with the agents, right? And where humans should always control the agents. So getting that code right will be the success of your AI and Gen AI and agentic uh, deployments.
Yes, beautifully mentioned, Naresh. And definitely regarding all the myths that you mentioned, what is that one AI security myth that you'd like to bust for our developer community today?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So often it is thought that for AI, because AI is so new, that only a very very specialized AI solution for security is required. I don't think that is the case. We need to secure AI just as any other things we have secured for in the past, right?
Yeah.
It's all about having the right principles in terms of security, and then using the principles to extend to the AI that is really called for. Otherwise, we may always be then kind of delaying things. We don't know what AI is going to lead to. So therefore, we are only thinking of what new security solutions I have to buy and what I have to do, which is very new, right? So
Yeah.
in doing that, it takes too much time, and you may already then get hit before you really get the answer to that. So therefore, look at the current scenario, current solutions that you already have, right? How you can use this most effectively to defend against some of the risks that AI and agentic AI is bringing to the table today, right? So this also
Right.
will help you to kind of do AI with a more balanced in terms of the investment as well. So what I call is that securing AI without breaking the bank. That is what is required.
Yes, Naresh, and definitely these mentions of you that you mentioned that about all the key points and how actually that balance can be maintained is very significant for all of us, because that's the way to go forward, and also keep that AI and human balance, and also make that right amount of proportion of everything that we are putting our hands on. So with moving forward to the next question, I would also like to ask you that if you had to build a cross-functional AI strategy team from scratch, then who are the first three roles that you would hire and why?
Yeah, that's a good question, Kushi. So obviously, I think the nature of AI, the risk it brings, right? So we have to have the highest officials in a AI or a Gen AI
Yeah.
council, right? Or Gen AI, governing body. So we have to first and foremost we have to have a governing
Yeah.
body, right? And the governing body should really create the principles of what do we do in AI and what do we do in AI, right? Why do we need it for? What are the goals? What are the governing principles we will have, like in using AI, right?
Yeah.
So that board or that council is the authority for that. In that authority, I believe you will need to have the CEO. So he doesn't have to spend all the time, but he has to be in the loop, because
Yes.
for him, AI can break down the entire brand, even a company also. So the CEO has to be involved. Okay, so next guy that needs to be involved is obviously the data guy, because AI and GenAI has got everything to do with data only,
Yeah.
right? It's all about data. So
Right.
therefore, the data guy, the data officer, the chief data officer, has to be a very, very important guy. In
Yeah.
this, I mean, he's by default there. Hmm?
Definitely.
And then the third important guy would be the infrastructure guy, right? So and when I say infrastructure guy, it could be both cloud infrastructure and the data center, on-premise data center infrastructure as well. Okay,
Yeah.
and other infrastructure, by the way, also, because agents are going to be in remote offices in your device. So it's infrastructure in general. So the infrastructure leader has to be involved. Otherwise,
Yeah.
generally what happens that data officers and all, they think the infrastructure is like very cheap. So it's like a endless amount of resources I can get anytime, which is not the case, because the infrastructure that is required for AI and Gen AI and agentic is very, very costly. Currently is very, very costly. So uh, the CFO is going to take your take you if you really spend too much, right? Without really any ROI to show also, because agentic AI and these are all still new. So the ROI is still very hard to get, right? So that's another topic that you should talk to other analysts from Gartner. So therefore, the infrastructure leader has to be very involved, and he has to decide what resources is right for what purpose. Okay, the fourth guy that should be there should be the CISO, the security officer, because
Yeah.
any agentic AI or any Gen AI that is done without security is a train that is going to wreck or it's going to go off the rail, right? Anytime it's going to go off the rail, Kushi. So,
Yeah.
so therefore, with a Gen AI without security is like a disaster. So the CISO has to be there, very, very clear. Okay, and I think in addition to that, um, yeah. So in addition to that, I think we also need some more people like the CFO, the
Yeah.
CFO, the guy who's going to put the bill, right?
Yeah.
So actually
Definitely.
AI so I have actually talked about so many people. So AI is
Yeah.
actually it's not a very narrow thing. It's a very broad initiative. It touches everything of
Yeah.
an organization. So therefore,
Definitely.
you have to have many people involved. But these are the ones which are most important.
Yes. And that's actually a very insightful perspective to look at when people today are, starting building their own things, and they are always, thinking about what to be the main, pillars of their organization. And this is actually something that will be a great perspective for all those who are actually in this space and budding towards building something big. So moving, I think this will be not the last and but not least. That what's that one book or resource that helped you think differently about AI's role in enterprise security, Naresh?
Okay, can you repeat that, Kushi? What is that one?
Yeah, what's that one book or resource that helped you think differently about AI's role in enterprise security,
Okay,
which you'd like to mention? Yeah.
that's I don't have time for reading books, Kushi.
Or any resource where you might gain all these insights from which we are getting we are glad that we're getting this perspectives from your
Yeah,
of insights. Yeah.
yeah, Kushi. The one resource that I think people should be looking up to. I think I would give you maybe two such resources. One resource that I would definitely go to is look at the latest uh, risks of AI. Right, that OWASP publishes. OWASP does monitoring of all the AI risks that we have to be concerned about, right? So they
Mhm.
publish these risks over the last few years, and they come up with this regularly. So we should obviously know what are the different risks that AI brings to the table, and
Yeah.
and also we have to prioritize, because we have too many risks involved. So we have to prioritize the risk which we have to really follow, pay attention to, right? So they
Yeah.
do a ranking of the risk. Okay, so this is a very good resource to use for any budding AI or even a leader of AI security, right? The
Yeah.
second, I think resource, or second, thing which you have to refer to is the um, the laws, that are coming up for AI, right? The most I think the most I think advanced laws for AI is the EU AI Act, right? The EU AI Act is a fundamental foundation for AI security. So it covers both IT security as well as AI safety also, right? So it's a nice thing to know what are the laws that are coming up for AI. So we have to get ready for that, because right now the way AI is evolving, it's evolving faster than the regulators thinking.
Yeah.
Right. So the regulators are trying to understand all these things, so that how do they kind of check and put some check and balance into this, right? So these laws are like evolving, okay, rather slowly in my opinion. And I think the Indian India AI, I think MITI also has come up with some recently they've come up with some of the AI security guidelines also. So take a look at all the important and relevant laws that you have to follow through, right? And the ones which are most pioneer, like the EU AI Act, and the ones which are relevant to you, which is in the case of India, the MITI. The MITI is AI security frameworks, or the guideline which they just published recently, right? So these are few things that I would ask any AI security specialist or professional or budding people who are entering to really kind of read up once in a while, to help them to frame their thinking.
And perhaps these are some really amazing and key insights to actually look at, Naresh. And definitely, we have had a plethora of insights and information from your personal expertise, as this is all and everything that we actually wanted to know. And with that, we finally wrap up this exclusive Ask Me Anything session on agentic AI, enterprise security, and the strategic tech decisions of tomorrow. A heartfelt thank you to you, Naresh, for joining us today and sharing such insightful perspectives on how agentic AI is actually reshaping the enterprise technology and security, and your thoughts on empowering developers to make these strategic and future-ready tech decisions by embracing innovation, strengthening the cross-functional collaboration, and aligning with the organizational goals have truly added immense value to this conversation.
Thank you very much, Kushi. It was a pleasure talking to you, as usual.
Yes,
Looking
and
forward
it's
to
all
learning more.
definitely, Naresh. And it's also been an enlightening discussion because it has offered a clear glimpse into how today's developers can lead confidently in this era of intelligent, secure, and adaptive AI systems. And we will definitely be looking forward to yet another and insightful conversation with you. This is your host, Kushi, signing off. And it was an absolute pleasure hosting you for this AMA session. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day ahead. And stay tuned for more such conversations from TechGig. Until next time, take care and keep innovating.
Thank you. Bye bye.